So we went through and discussing through February and March in regards to issues at the Glenstone Lodge. They continued on into April and May. In April, I began to walk out of closed door meetings. I refused to vote on anything that did not come with a staff report. You cannot make decisions based on what another council member says, but clearly you could tell some council members knew more than others. When we came to the departure of the manager of the Glenstone Lodge, the city of Cornwall did not terminate her in her position. But then again, as you all know and reported in the press, there was a settlement of approximately $170,000. I walked out of the meeting and I refused to vote. Rumors began to swirl in the community in regards to that payout. In May, I was summoned to the mayor's office, and he told me, based on a comment that he had with another council member, that I was upset that there were no staff reports brought into the meetings. And I just looked at him and I simply said, since April and May, I have been walking out of meetings, and now you say to me, oh, I heard you were upset because there were no reports. It flies in the face of arrogance that I could not believe that a member of our city council would say. In September of 2011, the city of Cornwall changed its plea from not guilty to guilty. And I think you should understand the importance of reports and what reports stands for. This represents a report that came to City Council in February of 2012. This report, 5 pages, was about vehicles idling at a cost to the city of about $35,000 a year. At that meeting, a council member asked that it be deferred because he did not have enough information. I quickly seconded it. 5 pages about $35,000 in vehicles idling, and to spend $850,000 behind closed doors, we received 1 paper. On that paper was nothing but crap. Mayor Kilger at the meeting stated that when we left the room, we were to tell people that we were changing our plea to guilty because of the cost. Lawyers' fees had now hit over $200,000, and his message was we could not afford it. I told Mr. Kilger at that meeting and all of council that if I was asked why we changed our plea, it was because we were guilty. Mayor Kilger also failed to advise the public that if we would have won the case in court, our legal fees would have been covered by our insurance company, and there would have been no cost to the city. In October of 2011, I received an email from a gentleman who asked me that since we had changed our plea to guilty, he was now concerned about what was going on at the Glenstone Lodge. I replied to him immediately and copied every member on council, because he asked this question to everyone on council. When I did, I told him exactly what I'd been told in January 2011. There was no abuse at the Glenstone Lodge. There was an incident. We had 10 days to report it, and we reported it on the 11th day. Sent it off. Explained to him also in the email that the lodge was under new management, and I felt confident that everything was fine. After talking to a local reporter about 2 weeks later, he told me, no, there was abuse, and provided me with documentation from the ministry that cited the Glenstordon Lodge on an issue of abuse. I then made a few phone calls to people that I have known that are in the long-term care business in regard, and they would know and have knowledge about the regulations. When I did that, I was shocked. There was abuse. Abuse is to be reported immediately. I then responded back to the individual that sent me the email and said, and apologized that I had made a mistake. I'd indicated to him that apparently there was an instance of abuse at the Glenstordon Lodge. I explained to him that we were not 1 day late in reporting it on the 11th day. We were in fact over 2 weeks late in reporting the offense to the ministry. I immediately got an email from Mayor Kilger, who indicated that I was spreading incorrect information by changing the story that I had. You must remember, when everything is done verbally, there's a chance that you lose something. So in December of 2011, maybe I missed something, maybe I made the mistake, until 3 other councillors responded to that email and indicated that they agreed with my statement, that there was no abuse. Once I received the email from Mayor Kilger, I contacted the ministry. I spoke to a Carol Kumo, who was, I do believe, the district manager for the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care. She was not in her office, and her secretary said that she would call me first thing in the morning. At 8:30 in the morning, I received a call that the Karen Slater, the regional director, would like to sit in on the call. I immediately called 3 other council members who came to my house, sat at the dining room table to partake in the conference call. When we first started off, I had explained to Ms. Slater that I'm going to read you 2 emails. Could you please tell me which one of the emails is correct? I read her the first one, which indicated that there was no abuse. She never said anything. Then I read her the second email. I said, which one is correct? She said, your second email, there was abuse. There were over 2 weeks late in reporting the incident. And yes, you were 100% correct. I then sent Mayor Kilger an email indicating that I stood behind my second email. I then photocopies for every member of council. That night, in a closed-door session, I presented it to everybody. But prior to that, I went into Mr. Kilgore's office, and I don't believe in blindsiding anybody. Showed him the information. He just said, oh, I know. He said, I called the ministry.